I'm Charlotte.
Hi, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And together we are D1.
Yeah, that sounded really cheesy.
I know.
Oh, well.
We are currently answering question number 4. How do we use new media technologies in the construction, research and planning stages, including the evaluation? And effectively I think we should start with the camera. We used
A HD camera,
yeah,
which is the pixels of 1080i, so it could fit on a widescreen TV. We used it because it gave like a good picture quality and it looked good as well when we recorded it.
I think the camera that you use really does make the difference because, for instance, using one of the SD cameras, the effects that you can do while filming as opposed to doing in editing later on is just completely different, which then brings us to our next point, which is Adobe Premiere Elements, which is new to all three of us, as last year we were all in very different groups and we used Max and iMovie, and so this year using Premiere Elements, that was just completely different. That was a whole new experience.
It was quite hard to get your head around at first because you're like, where is everything now, and this is here and that's there, compared to the Mac, which is quite easy and straightforward to just cut.
I think once you get used to using Premiere Elements though, it was actually much more straightforward, and also the advantages for using Premiere Elements are so much greater than using the Macs anyway. Mm-hmm. For example, if you were to cut into a clip, you can cut irrationally and just kind of work out where you actually want the cut to be in the end, and you can kind of move things around. You can zoom really closely into the clip to get it really, really precise. Yeah. And that was really handy for us anyway when we were doing all of the editing, I think particularly with the photo shoot.
I think with Premiere Elements it was also easier to import the files because we didn't need to transfer them onto a external memory and transfer them between the PCs and the Macs, which I think sped everything up.
It's quite good as well because Premiere Elements, you can just open a file and you can see all the clips that you ever actually put on Premiere Elements, and they're still there, they're still full. All you need to do is just drag them and put them on there.
And that moves us on to print work for the actual overall coursework piece, including the 2 ancillary texts. With print work we used Photoshop, and we'd either save that as a Photoshop document or we would compress the image down to JPEG, and we particularly found this useful when creating the newspaper advert, as we decided to go with a crack effect for Katie Hughes' face to kind of show, it was kind of not to show that her character is breaking down or degrading or anything like that, it was more just to kind of show the idea that she is it's almost picture perfect, but it's so close
to break.
And it really is just kind of make or break. And for a newspaper advert, I thought that was quite a good idea to use because that just means it's more eye-catching. But yeah, it was good that we could put the photo from Photoshop, compress it down to JPEG, and then put it onto, say, Photo Plus to do some additional changes, and then move it finally onto Page Plus. So we've kind of combined Adobe and serif packages. So
yeah. These are the Page Plus and Photo Plus software discs. I think they worked well, especially because of the features you had within them, and being able to link them all together allowed us to move the images between them very easily and not have to save them and change every time we wanted to. It would just be make a small adjustment, send it over, and it sped everything up.
So yeah, I found Photo Plus and Page Plus, obviously they're new software as well, and that was quite different to use because I suppose if we're really used to using Photoshop, it's quite hard to kind of get out of that habit. And also, to be honest, I don't think it made a huge difference just using both of them rather than opposed to just one, because it means with Photoshop not that there are certain things you can and can't do with either, I think it's more just the fact that it's ease of use and it's the speed at which you can do things. And I think with Photo Plus it's really, really clear to adjust all the lighting, to adjust all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas with Photoshop, I suppose you're just so used to it, you can do it so quickly. So it's a combination of speed and the features that are easily available, I suppose. So combining the two, I think, really worked well for us as a group. And then lastly, we used iTunes.
We used iTunes to get the background music, Blondie's One Way or Another. We decided it fitted well with the photo shoot at the beginning due to its pace and the type of music it is. We used two cameras for it. We used Buffy's Nikon and a Fujifilm Finepix S2500. Camera use does definitely affect what it looks like. I think using the HD camera, it did provide that element of professionalism and a better quality for our final project. For our project, we carried out a large amount of research using different media technologies. The first one we used was YouTube.com. This allowed us to save the videos we'd used for research.
Yeah, like modelling videos as well. Like
yeah.
we got some videos from like MTV of like models, like
Good for inspiration.
cribs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Which allowed us every time we changed location, whether it be in the classroom or at home, we could still find those video clips very easily without having to search through the entire website. I think also it allowed us to make our video more professional because we could see what shots were actually used in the genre of our documentary, which meant we weren't just making up what shots we thought we'd use. We actually saw what professionals used and we could work around that. Obviously we did change certain shots because of our personal preference of shooting.
And then we also used NMA UK, which is a website that's basically, it's got all the newspaper adverts on there. And it's got the most up-to-date kind of conventional, well, it's got the conventional newspaper adverts and then it's got the most contemporary ones also.
I think it did help us to choose the correct shape for the...
It was good.
We just do like different kind of like shapes that you can go for, and then we all just like discuss on like one size shape, the shape that we all agreed on.
I think if we hadn't have had it, we would have ended up doing, changing it each time, or even not producing an advert that fitted in with newspaper we were going to use.
Yeah, I think it was working out what works best for us, and we're not doing a documentary that is really completely different, that's it's not like that, so we wouldn't need one to reflect in that case. But to at least experiment was definitely worthwhile, I think. Even if we did just kind of end up going for the conventional kind of boxed shape in the square kind of layout. But I think that was probably the best one for us.
I also fitted in with the topic of it to show her boxed in.
It could
in
reflect
a
the
way.
personality, I suppose, as well.
We used Vimeo to upload our drafts of the project so that we can embed them into our WordPress file. Vimeo allowed us to insert bigger files.
Compress it down.
We also use Vimeo to like do some kind of research because our college has got like a Vimeo website or a Vimeo account thing, and it's got like videos from past year 13 classes, A2 classes, and they got their stuff on there. So we did a little bit of research and we watched a couple of those and to see their kind of documentary styles and stuff like that.
Now on to planning.
So we used PowerPoint for our pitch and for the slideshare stuff because you can put up.
So what we did was we came up with the storyboard, and then I scanned that in on the A3 scanner. So we just kind of ended up putting it onto a slideshow on Microsoft PowerPoint, but that's kind of equally as effective. I mean, it's not as ideal, but it is. That's perfectly
I think
okay as well.
the display of it on the WordPress site looks good as well with the because it automatically rolls through each slide with extra functions to pause it and jump ahead
and animations
and animate it, and it does provide a lot more features than just having a video and being able to press play and stop it.
So that was good. So we could then upload the PowerPoint onto slideshare.com, and then we could we can embed a link from there into WordPress again, and that automatically comes up as the file. So SlideShare has been really helpful. Also with our pitch, we put the pitch on a PowerPoint to show our class, and so putting that then onto SlideShare means you can easily put that onto your blog as well.
I think also using the older programs like Excel and PowerPoint were handy for the planning because we knew them and we didn't have to get to know them. So it was easy just to place things on and be ready to go rather than having to learn the software.
Yeah. I think with regards to the new media technology though, I think like the best ones, I don't know, for me without a doubt is the phone. Like you get the phone apps, they're free and they're so good because it just means if I'm ever out and I just need to just kind of get something down, but I don't have access to a laptop or to a computer, or just generally to a workstation, it means I can just get my phone out, go on the WordPress app. I've already downloaded our blog onto my WordPress app on my phone, so I just go straight on there, new post, and then just bang in whatever I need to write about, and then I can expand on that later when I get home.
We also used Facebook group, which we all signed into, which allowed us just to, if we wanted to make a post that we didn't want to put initially onto WordPress, we could just make it there and sort of have a look at it before it went up.
But then also it's good just to kind of share ideas, to communicate with each other without doing it over text, because if you do it with text it's really hard because you can only text 2 people at one time, whereas if you're on Facebook you can go on chat together but chat is also like a 2-way conversation as well. But with having it as a profile means that it's an open thing, so that 3 of us can just go on there, we can all bounce ideas around and bounce ideas off each other, and that's kind of what's been really useful for us too. And then also we've used Skype, which the newer features of it anyway, which were very, very useful for us in previous months when things were getting a bit manic, when our old project kind of fell through at the very last minute, which was really bad for us, but we kind of managed to get through. And then it was around Christmas kind of time, and with all the bad weather conditions and that stuff going on, it made it hard to kind of commute to each other's houses and to meet up. So I think the key things for planning were the phone apps, undoubtedly the Twitter updates and all of that kind of thing, Facebook, and I think Skype was like a last minute kind of real saviour for us. Evaluation.
At the minute we're at my house, this is the first time we've sat down and evaluated our project in terms of all its different media technologies.
It's different being in a group as well when you're evaluating, because obviously as we're talking we can kind of still bounce ideas off each other, which is good, and it's like a continuous
Because when you're doing like your individual evaluation, you kind of have to like think the things that you did, and you're just like
it's very like singular, whereas this is very, it's group orientated, and to be honest we've got a good group. Like we've been quite good with communication anyway. We've had our differences, we've had different views, but then I think we're all like generally creative people, and that's where our differences have kind of clashed together. But then I think overall like it's kind of come together for the best, and we've all kind of like shared experiences, shared views, and shared our kind of creativity, and I think we've generally been quite close. And so doing a group evaluation, I think that almost like reflects what we've been like anyway. We're very talkative, we can just kind of gel. The new media technology that we're currently using is we're using a camera. Again, this isn't HD, but it is still a very handy, it's a handy cam by Sony.
We're also using a Sony tripod.
And what we're going to do for this as well, for the evaluation, is we're going to use Movie Plus by Serif, which is the same as the Photoshop and the Photo Plus and the Page Plus. It's all like a Serif package, and we're going to use that as well. So whereas we've usually been editing with Premiere Elements by Adobe, we're going to try Movie Plus and see what kind of features we can get out of that, and then we could almost, I suppose, compare the two and kind of decide which one is the best one, or just which one is the easiest, and we can weigh up the pros and cons. That's what we're going to.
And we're probably we could put a link up on the blog so you can see the website that all these packages belong to, which might help you if you're doing film stuff as well. You can do.
If you fancy getting some of the stuff, it's recommended. It is.
Yes.
I think Premiere Elements I would definitely recommend. That has been really, really good.
Yeah.
But then the Serif package has been very good as well.
I think the Premiere Elements package is the best in terms of functionality, and the Serif package is best for price.
We have been Charlotte,
James,
and Elizabeth
for the D1 group project Katie Hughes, Make or Break. Watch it.